Today in the crypto space, we see the market still going sideways, Bitcoin at 29,400 and Ethereum at 1850. Guys, the rest of the altcoins are not really doing much either. Still bouncing around, waiting for Bitcoin to make a critical decision. Are we coming down to those lower levels so that we can buy those dips? In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to talk about Bitcoin as a leading indicator. But more importantly, I want to give a quick update on one of the projects that we did a deep dive on. And that project is UNIBOT. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of that volatility. And if you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Of course, if you want to follow me on the socials, all of those links are in the description. And of course, that Discord group is also there, guys. Go check it out. It's a great community, great alpha being posted throughout the day, good trade setups, fundamentals, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the market. We'll kind of do a quick scrape over the top 100, and then we'll get into the Bitcoin to see what Bitcoin is telling us. If as a leading indicator, Bitcoin could be a good signal to what we should be doing in the immediate short term. And then, of course, I want to give you a quick update on UNIBOT. UNIBOT is one of the tokens that I did a deep dive on recently, and I feel like we need an update. We got to see what's going on there. UNIBOT is definitely part of that narrative, that Telegram bot narrative that was really popular, about a week ago. But for me, it's all about staying, again, one step ahead of the market and realizing that sometimes, some narratives do pick up really bullish, but then they kind of fizzle away. And I personally feel, of course, none of this is financial advice or anything, but I do feel like that whole narrative kind of fizzled away just a little bit. And to be honest, so be it. We're going to be, again, researching, looking for other opportunities. And I feel like, the best opportunities are yet to come, given that we are in a sideways consolidation in a bear market, which means that we could be entering that bull market very soon upon, waiting for a confirmation from Bitcoin. Right now, that's what we're waiting for. Bitcoin still going sideways, Ethereum still going sideways, and many of these altcoins are still within range, maybe testing the top of the range, maybe getting a bit of relief. But at the end of the day, we're still within range on many of these projects. Let's kind of scroll through this market. Dogecoin right now at the top of the range, like I mentioned, double topping type of thing. Cardano maybe creating that higher high for sure, but looking a little bit top heavy, maybe rolling over. It's down 1.5% in the last 24 hours. And you can see that many of these altcoins currently are looking very similar. Solana, Polygon, if you go down the list, nice little leg up, going sideways, and it could be considered a bull flag, no doubt. It could be considered a little bit of a bull flag before we get a continuation to the upside. But the reality is, be prepared, because we could come down once again to test the bottom of the range, right? So these retests, these retracements that are deep like this are very indicative of a accumulation phase, a phase of which the market gets bored when we see a lot of sideways price action, because the retracements are deep, 886 retracements, all the way back to previous lows, double bottoming type of thing. And when that does happen, people get bored and annoyed, and they start looking for more volatility, of course, to be able to trade. And traders want volatility. And if the large caps are not giving you that, you start looking into the degen world, you start looking into the micro caps, even the meme coins get their time to shine, because things get boring and all we want to do is have a bit of fun. So right now, a lot of these altcoins are not giving it to us. Look at Avalanche back at the bottom of the range. We have many. Uniswap taking a bit of a dip. What else? OKB rallying up pretty strong in the last little while, but maybe reaching a little bit of a top before we get a bit of a retracement. Maybe it is just a breather until we continue up. So we got to look at some patterns that look like this, that they are probably still bullish. This could be a bull flag. The thing is that within this consolidation, What you really want to do is identify the bottom of the range. What you want to identify is the invalidation for your long, right? So find your invalidation, put your stop loss slightly below that invalidation, and be prepared that if it does pop to the upside, that you're quick to take a bit of profits and trail up the stop losses. Because at the end of the day, when you get these a nice leg to the upside, the probability is that the majority of the move is done. Now, you might be saying it's only 7%. I agree, only 7% in the last 7 days. I look for double-digit gains at the end of the day, you know, as a swing trader. So it could be that OKB is looking for higher levels in the immediate short term. I wouldn't mind taking a look at OKB in tonight's live stream at 7:30 Eastern, guys. I'm going to put it on the list. Of course, you're more than welcome to request any projects that you're interested in, and I'll definitely put them at the top of the list in priority. But as of now, I'm interested in OKB. I want to go see what's going on there, because if we do get a retracement and we are currently over sold, it could be a great opportunity to get into a long position for a nice swing to the upside. Okay, so we'll pay attention to that one. H bar down another 2% in the last little while, so grinding to the downside after a nice little rally up. Guys, this is absolutely normal. That's the thing. As long as we create a higher low, H bar is due for a continuation, right? So let's see what happens with H bar. I wouldn't mind taking a look at H bar as well, but we'll continue scrolling down here. V chain showing that strength, although right now as we speak, it is down approximately, you know, 0.3%, which is nothing, negligible, but you can see the overall structure that it is building currently is looking pretty bullish. In fact, it looks like it wants to break to higher levels, and if that is very possible here, guys, a lot of these altcoins have been going sideways for a significant amount of time, and it is due for them to actually wake up and get some, you know, volume into them. And right now, VeChain may be one of them. I've been seeing some signs of potential movement, so we got to keep an eye on VeChain. Near Protocol not looking the greatest, to be honest, but still at the bottom of the range. Great opportunities for accumulation. Optimism pulling back. It pulled back significantly, so pay attention to that one. Algorand is one of those layer ones that have been showing strength in the last little while, and currently consolidating, showing the market that there is potential support where it's at. And if that's the case, again, your invalidation is right below the range, and you can potentially start accumulating for a long, right? Especially if you can see some oversold conditions on, you know, maybe the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and a short-term time frame. That's what you want to kind of look at, especially if we broke out of the range, the bottom, out of, let's say, a 4 hour time frame or a daily time frame. You kind of want to say that, you know, big picture, it already took off, but what about buying into a dip? And then you're gonna have to kind of scale into smaller time frames or shorter time frames, and in that way you can mitigate your risk and, you know, take profits a lot quicker just in case. So Algorand looking pretty good in my opinion. Caspa retracing another 3.2% to the downside, guys. Be very careful getting into longs. A lot of people are looking at supports and getting in with longs without confirmations, guys. At the current moment, we see that Caspa is cascading to the downside. Don't try to catch a falling knife. That's very, very risky. Risk is your enemy. You don't want to take risk. You want to get into a scenario where the risk to reward is very healthy, and we've got to get signals of divergence, get signals of support, get signals of structure, and then we would consider putting a, you know, a long position for a quick relief to the upside. I'm not saying that Caspa is going to make a higher high or even, you know, a double top, but I just still feel like if we're going to continue bearish, we need a confirmation high, a lower high, right? Something like that, and some sort of continuation of the divergence, the follow through of divergence would be really good to see that Caspa is coming down for a nice retracement. I want to buy my bags back on the cheap. I did take half my bag in stables. I sold half of my entire short-term, let's say, spot position, and in this case I'm willing and ready to buy the dip at lower levels. And of course, guys, you know, the DAG wars are there. There's a lot of DAG applications or projects right now basically competing, and that's very normal and healthy, especially in an emerging market such as, you know, blockchain technology. But at the same time, just because I took profit on Caspa doesn't mean I have to redeploy my entire profits back into Caspa. I can be looking into other projects that are within the same narrative and competing and kind of diversify within that narrative. And that would be a very viable strategy. Okay, so keep that in mind. We'll keep on doing research. I've been doing deep dives, and I'm going to be releasing a deep dive on Sunday. I'm currently preparing for that deep dive, doing research. And if you have projects that you suggest and recommend to the community, feel free to join join that Discord, there is a channel there where you can chime in and let me know, let the community know which projects I should be doing deep dives on. So go do that, guys. It's a great place to actually get engaged and involved with a great bunch of people trying to, get an edge on this market. Let's continue here. What else do we have? Axie Infinity waking up just a little bit. I like the way it moves, but at the end of the day, it's nothing significant, but the movements are nice, right? Looking a bit strong there. What else? A little bit of a bounce on Injective, but still, guys, be careful. Just because we're getting a bounce, it's still a lower low overall. What else? We have Rollbit did a great job, guys. What a great performance on Rollbit. It's been doing really good for the last little while, guys. When you're in those 75%, 100% gains, it's time to really consider, thinking that Rollbit, yes, the trend is your friend and it's been respecting the trend to the upside for so long, but expect that one day that trend will not be your friend. And that's the reality. Reality is after a few touches on a trend line, the market wants to get people wrecked. And if you build a lot of confluence on a trend line or confidence on a trend line, let's put it that way, you're very confident, you start going long and short based on a diagonal, especially. Eventually those diagonals kind of, get you wrecked. They kind of fool you, and you got to be prepared for that. So for me, when you're up significantly and you made some good gains, or if you're sitting on the sideline looking at this green price action for so long, just be careful, guys. It gets risky. Get in, get out, get in lower time frames, and do your thing, but protect yourself. Okay, let's continue. Rocket Pool getting a nice little bounce, but nothing crazy. The market is a little slumpy, but few gainers. I like Mina Protocol. Mina Protocol is definitely waking up, and I'm getting a lot of whispers on my socials, and I feel like these whispers are telling me that Mina might be picking up very soon. It is up 1.2%, while the rest of the market is looking a little bit, boring. And it is up 7% in the last 7 days. So we could be getting a bit of momentum into Mina Protocol very, very soon. Keep an eye on that one. I was actually going to do an update on Mina today, but I felt like, why not go, kick back and go look at the UNIBOT narrative, because the UNIBOT narrative was really hot a week ago. And I want to just give a quick update on that price action. So we're going to get right into that very soon. But first, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Guys, I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin our analysis looking at the heavyweight. Bitcoin currently getting a bit of a bounce at the bottom of the range. I feel like we could be getting some indications that we are within a range, right? A very tight range, a very nice defined range where we can build some confidence that Bitcoin is going to hang out there for a while. If Bitcoin does hang out within this zone, range high, range low, range high, range low, meaning 31,000 give or take, and all the way to range lows at about 28,800. Guys, if we stay within this range for the next little while, I believe that the market is going to get extremely bored and extremely confident at this level, and they're going to start looking for other opportunities to basically trade volatility, guys. And of course, as a trader, we look for volatility, and Bitcoin might be within that range. But guess what happens during very, very sideways price action? Of course, you know what I'm going to say, those altcoins wake up. And if altcoin season wakes up, guys, we have to be prepared. We have to be scaled into some of those good projects that we've been talking about on the channel. There's some good bullish new projects that we obviously have to do a lot of research on to get fundamentally bullish. But if you start scaling in bit by bit, and we get a nice altcoin season, guys, I think that we should do well. Right now, you can see that we're respecting this diagonal trend line on the RSI, which means that we have been consolidating. We are contracting the momentum over time and hanging out right now in the 50 zone. That is the chop zone. So that means that here Bitcoin could be chopping away for the next little while. It could be hanging out here until we actually break, a couple more weeks, maybe a couple more weeks right within the zone. And then finally, we might see an altcoin season where altcoins kind of catch up to Bitcoin. But overall, guys, we have to be very patient here with Bitcoin. I don't think it's going to make a move really quickly. I think that, overall, we've done a great job and we are in a distribution. I think that a lot of people just want Bitcoin to hang out. And if we do get dips, they may get bought up real quick. But overall, guys, there's no real volatility here. The only bullish thing that we have right now is the MACD. Green histogram bars, EMAs to the upside, but at the end of the day, this does look like it's trying to roll over. You got to admit, although it's really early for me to make that call, based on my experience and what I see and how I see some of these bars, grow over time, I don't really have a lot of confidence with this one, to be honest. And basically the RSI as well, I'm not really very confident with it. I still feel like we're trying to hold the range. Now, we could break down again and come down to lower levels, 27,000, but I'm really hopeful that we see Bitcoin kind of go sideways for a bit and giving our altcoin bags, a a break, getting to those upsides. Okay, guys, I know you're here to look at some of these altcoins. We focus on altcoins quite a bit. So let's get right into UNIBOT. UNIBOT is one of those tokens that I covered on the deep dive. We covered the deep dive right here approximately 11 days ago. I got into a lot of the details with regards to what this project is about, the team, the tokenomics, everything. Go check it out, guys. It's a pretty good video. If you're getting into Uniswap, you definitely want to take a look at that one. Unibot, sorry. If you're getting into Unibot, you want to know about the project, go check out that video. But with regards to price action right now, you look at the daily, it's not really giving us much. This is why I do deep dives. Number one, so that you don't have to. You can just watch my video and go check it out. But at the end of the day, this is another reason, is that there's no price action really to hold any real TA, right? We have a bit on lower time frames. We can get into lower time frames and kind of use those lower time frames to pick apart some of these bigger candles. But you can see a bit of bearishness here, a bit of a bounce, a bit of a rally, a slightly higher high. And these are the scenarios that kind of we can look at, but really we're trying to build a range. It looks like we're trying to build a range. This slightly higher high just suggests that we're creating higher highs. Did we get a higher low? Not really just yet. We're just still hanging around here. Now, if you get into another chart and you start looking at, let's say, a Uniswap chart or something like that, you might see a lot more price action. And of course, it did come up from lower levels. Here, I'm using I think a BitGet chart, which, is totally fine, because at the end of the day, what we really want to see is what's happening at this level. Okay, let's look at lower time frames for a second. Lower time frames are going to give us a bit of a story, right? And we can see that we are testing that overbought scenario. We exited the overbought scenario, and right now on the 4-hour, we are in the chop zone. What I want to bring to your attention is a couple of things. Number one is that right here, we created a higher high. Let me get this into a regular line. We created a higher high, which is clear. Obviously, let's exclude the wicks for this demonstration purpose, because I'm going to be showing you the bearish divergence that clearly played out, and we got the follow through. Okay, we got the bearish divergence, higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the RSI, and then all of a sudden, we didn't get a full reset, but we did get another attempt. And this next attempt, you can see higher highs on the price action, fine. Higher highs on the RSI and the price action. We didn't get any bearish divergence just yet. Okay, so we got to be clear on that. Now, what I want to do is reuse these lines for a second, because there's no point of plotting this. What we want to do is look at these two tops. Okay, these two tops right now are pretty much, it is upward sloping, right? It is upward sloping. This is a slightly higher high. Now, if you look at this and you connect the same two tops on the RSI, you can see it's downward sloping. Okay, it's quite a bearish divergence right here. Class A bearish divergence. Now, we could get a couple of drives of this, meaning that the price action could go higher while still maintaining this bearish divergence. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of people get wrecked. The only thing that I can say is there's a bit of an interest here with regards to the MACD. The EMAs are facing down, red histogram bars to the downside, which suggests a continuation to the downside in the immediate short term. So if that's the case, we do have a range that we have been building. Let me get some horizontals in here, as horizontals are important. We can see that we have this to watch out for. Okay, and we also have the weakness below it, a volume gap. Okay, the volume gap right around this level. Okay, we got a bit of a gap. Now, there's a bit of weakness also below, but we're not going to entertain that currently at the moment. We're going to take it one step at a time. This is a volume gap, and this is a very interesting zone to watch out for. Now, what I am interested also is this zone right here, where we are currently. Because if we kind of see, we have a nice rounded bottom. If we consolidate here and use the 50 EMA on the 4-hour chart as support, let me get a small line in here so we can kind of see what's happening. If we stay above this zone, and I like it because this zone right now is showing us that the volume right now picks up right below it. Right below. If you can see right here on the VPVR, it does pick up significantly. Let me zoom in a little bit. You see that below we pick up a lot of volume that could act as support. So if we stay above this zone and we consolidate, right, we have a clear neckline that we could break. We have a nice rounded bottom and a consolidation. That's a cup and handle. Okay, that's a cup and handle that we could break out of. Now, if that's the case, guys, you're going to see some great movements here on UNIBOT to the upside. Measured move is significant. Okay, measured move is significant. Now, obviously, I am showing you a bullish scenario right now. And what we really want to do is take a measurement, which would be from the top to the bottom, just very loosely. At breakout point, you see that we have a horizontal right here. More or less. Let's just throw one in there. Now, if we take an extension level and okay, let's do from here to here, swing low to swing high, and we actually get out of this. We're extending way above the 1.618, almost 2 to 1, doubling up. So that's very good. Now, if we reuse this and put this right here, and we, I'm basically looking at this current scenario, very, very early, obviously high to low. We don't know if this is going to be a low, but let's say it is. Our extension levels hit right about here. Really, there's no confluence with that move using Fibonacci, to be honest. Just that the fact that we double up, that's a significant move to the upside if we do break bullish. Okay, so we got to be very clear that this break right now is what we really want to see, right? From a bullish perspective, right to this zone. I would consider that a great area to potentially take profits for sure. Okay, now again, keep in mind on the 4-hour that we are coming down and that we want to see signs of support. I believe that we're going to have to get in lower time frames to actually confirm this as support. Remember that the daily is not showing us anything. It's way, way too early. Our oscillators are not even registering at this point. The 4-hour, again, like we were just looking at, is kind of giving us that, but we didn't get oversold whatsoever just yet. So very early, very early. So on the 1-hour, if we get oversold, which we're almost there, and we hold that level of support, which, like I mentioned, is at that horizontal line, which is more or less right about here. Guys, I would expect that maybe we get this cup and handle going, right? We don't want to retrace too deep. If we retrace lower than the 50% mark, guys, it invalidates about halfway. If we break below, let's say even the $140 mark, which is the point of control, if we break below that, forget it. It's not a cup and handle anymore. It starts to get invalidated. It starts to just be a confirmation high, a low, a higher low, which is okay. And at the end of the day, we want to see full resets and confirmations that we should be scaling in. But even here on the 1-hour, we didn't fully reset on the momentum. So what are we going to do? Get into lower time frames? It gets very volatile. So be careful here, guys. I still feel like we just need this overall consolidation, this handle, if it's going to be a handle, to kind of play out and make a range. We got to respect this range. Okay, it could be downward sloping, it could be a megaphone, it could be upward sloping, whatever it is. We need a consolidation to form a handle here, and we got to see that this MACD finally resets and the RSI gets down to lower levels at minimum on the 1-hour time frame. Right now, I like to trade the 4-hour and the daily, but if you're going to get in the 1-hour, you want a full reset to oversold conditions at minimum on the 1-hour before you get into a bullish move to the upside. Now, if you're going to trade this breakout, guys, be careful, because if we do break above, yes, a lot of people might look at this as a cup and handle and get into long positions. But what about if you get that fake out and it goes right back into the range? So you got to be very careful. Wait for a back test, confirmation, and then continuation. That's the only way I would be getting into a breakout. If not, I'm waiting for retracements and buying the bottoms upon levels of support. All right, guys, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't yet, do the channel a huge favor and slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join that Discord group. The group is great. Lots of good alpha, lots of good trade setups and fundamentals being posted all the time. The Telegram is also a great place. Go check it out, guys. Take care. Have a good one, and see you tonight at 7:30 Eastern. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.